Good day, Pack 304 Den Leaders. Thank you for signing up to be a Den Leader. My name is Jamie Kyle. I am the Bear Den 11 Leader for 2021-2022. This is a short presentation of things that Den Leaders might be interested in knowing. This comes from my experience as being a tiger, wolf, and currently halfway through Bear Den Leader. Den Leaders, what do we do? Really, let's boil it down to the most simple things. We follow our scout book. It is that simple. You can buy a scout book at Scout Shop. On the screen, you can see this would be a wolf handbook. This might be a bear handbook. Just follow what each requirement says. BSA has a lot of smart people that have come up with what are age appropriate activities. Just follow the book. Don't make it any harder on yourself. Below that, follow the Scout Book Leadership Instruction Guide. Scout Shop has additional booklets for the Den Leaders if you really need some more activities and ideas. It's a very simple explanation book as well. So if you're feeling very nervous about being a Den Leader, pick that instruction guidebook up as well. Another idea is take ideas from Den Leader training, Scouting University, or roundtables. Roundtables are a monthly meeting that Capital Area Council puts on where Den Leaders and leadership committee people can get together and discuss ideas that are going on. Scouting University, which is my personal favorite, that is this thing down here at the bottom, is a once a year Saturday 6 to 8 hour training that you can go, and it is all Scout all the time for that day. They have different workshops such as cooking demonstrations or how to handle this, or maybe craft demonstrations. It's a great day to just get away and have some fun doing scouting stuff. Other ideas, game ideas, search the internet or Pinterest. What to expect in a Den meeting. So just a general guideline is what I have listed here. Understand your skills and experience, your leadership style, your scouts' abilities to pay attention, and their talents, knowledge, and abilities will also lead to what kind of style your meeting takes on. So an idea would be a gathering activity, some kind of game that kids can join in and out of, and join in at any time because not everybody will show up on time. If you don't plan a gathering activity, everything will devolve into tag. Opening. This may include the Scout Oath, the Scout Law, or the Pledge of Allegiance. Planned activity. Have your planned activity that you have pulled from Scout Book or your handbook. Maybe have a game or a song. If you're a big game person, maybe you lead more towards games. If you happen to know more songs, do a song. Take care of business, homework, take home information, or announcements. Then maybe ideas for a closing. Review what you learned in this activity. Does that activity relate to a Scout Law of any kind? What did you like about this activity? What would you change about this activity? What would you want to do next time? So in that category, sometimes we call this roses and thorns. What were the good things? What were the bad things? Other ideas of leadership training, they call this stop, start, continue. What do you want to stop? What do you want to start? What do you want to continue? possibly maybe have a closing chant, a team break, or some other idea on how to just wrap it up at the end. Like I had said, your meetings may vary. There is no magic agenda, no set in stone way to lead a meeting. Make it your own. The meeting will depend on your leadership skills, how many parents are involved, what you are trying to accomplish, scout behavior, special guests, or field trips. Remember, be flexible and have fun. Which is my next point. Scouting is all about having fun and using your idea of games with purpose. The games you have typically have a purpose behind them. Then at the bottom, involve your parents. You are not alone in this. Whether or not you alternate with parents, that a different parent takes a different topic to lead a meeting, or maybe one parent is really good at being a bicycle mechanic, and that parent could lead your bicycle adventure. Maybe you have an EMT that might be willing to do the public service or community servant kind of topics. Perhaps you have a police officer in your unit that would like to do the same thing. Just ask your parents, see what knowledge, skills, and abilities they have and expertise that they may be able to lead to your group. Every scout deserves a trained leader. Den leader and assistant den leader training will be your next step. Your first step will be YPT, Youth Protection Training. That gives us all the guidelines to protect ourselves, to protect our scouts. PAC 304 follows the premise of 2 deep leadership. We always have 2 adults with YPT training at all times at all of our events. Number 2, go into my.scouting.org for your den leader, assistant den leader specific trainings that are web-based on that website. When you complete these trainings, you may receive a patch for your uniform that says trained right there. You are now fully trained. Your goal now is to do roundtables, Scouting University, and other abilities to get around other scouting leaders to come up with new ideas. Den leader, you can get a knot for your shirt as well. Let me show you what that looks like. There you go. Even if we don't have any previous scouting experience, we all know how to follow the requirements for each adventure. This will be an adult adventure, a den leader, assistant den leader adventure. So follow the requirements. There is a list if you internet search den leader knot. But here are the requirements. All you have to do are 5 throughout the year. Fill out your form. These are the list that you can pick 5 from, and fill out that form, give it to the committee chair. They will send it around to the appropriate people to get signed, and you can get a knot for your uniform. One of the big things that I'm really excited about scouting is location. You may stay at the same location for all of your meetings. You may not. That's something with my den that they happen to know is every den meeting is an adventure. We don't know where we're going to go for the next one. We know in advance, but I actually tried to not go to the same location twice in a row. We might visit that location later on in the year, but we change up our locations frequently. So I just wanted to share with you some awesome locations around the Round Rock area that we have the opportunity and honor to take advantage of. So the big thing with meeting locations is PAC 304 tends to meet outside in green spaces. You may have a set meeting location or you may change it up. Meeting locations. I just wanted to share some with you so you had an idea. Freeman Park, if you've ever been there, you kind of recognize this picture. This is the address. It is great for giant green running space. It does have a covered pavilion right here. The running space is over here on the right side. Great for flying kites, for a kite adventure, an air adventure. Anything for running games would be great out there. It has an accessible trail. You can kind of see back that way. Accessible trail meaning that wheelchairs could navigate through it. And it has a pretty good parking lot. I will say sometimes the parking lot can get full. There is parking out alongside of the road that people are pretty used to, but it does have a pretty good parking spot. Fern Spring and Lake Forest Green Space. This is a Lake Forest Green Area HOA. Probably best if you have a person in your den that lives in the Lake Forest area. But this is a great place for running, pitching tent practice, and be sure to bring your camp chairs. This is the location that is Blackland Prairie. Go down the hill of Fern Springs where you have the water fountain and the pond right there. This is across the street. That's the green space that I'm talking about. Another place would be Rusk and Forest Creek. It is not a very utilized green space. It would be under the Via Sonoma location HOA. So if you happen to have a scout that lives in that area, that would be helpful. They have a very small covered pavilion. I think it is big enough. This is the lower right-hand side picture. Just big enough, I think, for maybe one table under there. They have shorter walking trails. There are tons of turtles in the pond and a variety of trees for identification if you wanted to do a really short hike. To the left, we have Brushy Creek, what I label Brushy Creek East. I also called this section the Brushy Creek East Collingwood entrance. When you go down Collingwood and around to Paradise Ridge, that is where this circle path leads. It's a great green space, great for running around in games. Be sure to bring your camp chairs, and it does have a paved accessible trail. Another location that is not utilized very often is Lake Creek Park. This is actually downtown Round Rock, just on the south side of the railroad tracks. If you look here at the top side of the picture, that is the railroad tracks on the south side of downtown. Just to share a few that I like about this park, over here on the left are some picnic tables, a great place for meetings to be away from people. As you can see, we have a lot of parking right there, especially if you're not doing a summer adventure, because the pool is right there. That would take up some of the parking. You have plenty of parking. As you continue further to your right, there is a playground down here. The meeting location can be a far distance from the playground, so they don't automatically go to the playground. They have a bigger pavilion over here if you need a covered space. They do have bathrooms at this location. And over here, you can see that there is a basketball court. You have circles already drawn out, that this would be a great place for the Marble Madness adventure for Bear Year. Also, if you follow this trail out, this is a paved accessible trail that goes out to the east. That would be a fun hike. Champion Park. Champion Park is out Harryman Road, out towards, I think it's called Brushy Creek West. It's the big Brushy Creek Trail that they're trying to connect all the way through. The nice thing about Champion Park is for wolves, there is a dinosaur adventure. Right here at the top, you can't see it from overhead, but there are some great dinosaur statues. Maybe a great backdrop for your dinosaur adventure. Has a sand pit down here for burying your dino dig treasures. And you have a hiking trail. It is not accessible, but it is a great trail. It does have a lot of traffic. Has a very large pavilion up here. Just know that it may be rented already, but most of the time I don't see people hanging out at it. It would probably be occasional somebody has that. Over here behind my screen that you probably can't see, there are bathrooms at this park. Then we have Kenningham Park. You actually probably know where it is. You just drive by it all the time. Kenningham Park is at A.W. Grimes and Gaddiskull, where there is Randall's. Across the street in the neighborhood is a little neighborhood park. It is under Round Rock Parks and Rec as well. Very underutilized. It has a great parking area, so plenty of parking spaces, good tree coverage. Be sure to bring your camp chairs, great open green running space. Like I said, underutilized green space, so it could be a quiet place to meet. Very little public traffic and a good location for a conservation litter pickup event. I would say with Kenningham Park, one of the nice things I like about it is for bear for woodland chip or your Bear Claws knife adventure. This location is right across the street from Randall's, which has the emergency room in the parking lot, and right down the street from the urgent care right at Gaddiskull and A.W. Grimes. So Kenningham Park might be a great location for Bear Claws. Over here on your right is what I call Paradise Ridge and Collingwood Drive. This is close by what I call that Brushy Creek East Collingwood entrance. You just drive down the trail a little bit more. You will park on the corner of Paradise Ridge and Collingwood, walk down the trail, which is a paved accessible trail. You have a great green running space, and under the trees here, we have a covered pavilion. It is a great quiet location. Just remember, you will have a little bit of walking to get there. It is not very far. Then we have Old Settlers Park Rad Pavilion. This is not the big giant playground that you typically think of being right next to the pond. This is the one with the further south entrance. It is a great rain option. Most people are not going to be out in the rain, so you will not have to reserve the pavilion, but the pavilion is giant. So even if you have somewhat sideways rain, this would be a great location. It has, as you can see over here, it does have paved accessible trails as well. If you want not off trail, but not paved trails, you can take the disc golf course for a fun nature hike. Right over here to the left are all the soccer fields and the big green open spaces. This location does have porta potties out front. And as you can see, it does have a lot of parking. One of the drawbacks being, if it's a nice, bright, sunny day, it might be quite popular and the pavilion may be reserved. Other great locations. You can meet in any of your den family driveways or backyards, which would be great for planting adventures and building adventures where you don't have to transport a lot of materials. Think about field trips like police stations, fire departments, things like that, and many more. Just be creative. I can tell you one location we've been to is Williamson County Animal Shelter. Call and ask for permission to meet outside in their green space. That's what this picture is here. They have a great parking lot. And one of the nice things about Williamson County Animal Shelter is they have a program called Rescue Readers on Sunday afternoons. Kids can come in and read books to the cats and dogs. This helps with our kids' reading skills, but also helps with the animals with socialization and human contact. It also kind of calms the animals down. That way, hopefully, it leads to better adoptions. So it's a win-win for everyone. Then we have Veterans Park, which is downtown Round Rock. The nice thing about this location is it has a covered pavilion. It may or may not be reserved, so that's up to you if you want to chance it. It does have fishing, has ample parking. It has a fenced-in basketball area. The whole park is military themed, so if you're working on a duty to country requirement, this might be a nice place to meet. It does have a bathroom. And then over here on your right side, it has a Veterans Memorial Wall. So perhaps a great place to practice flag skills. This is also a great park for conservation efforts if we need to do a litter pickup. Den leaders, now is your checklist. Tell the Cub Master that you would like to be a den leader or assistant den leader. Then complete your YPT, Youth Protection Training, and your den leader or assistant den leader training, both on my.scouting.org. Purchase your Den Scout Handbook or Instructor Guide. If you have problems purchasing these items, please reach out to Pack 304 as we might have guides and books that can be passed down. Purchase your adult scouting uniform. Add pieces as your budget allows. I understand that you just went out and bought one or more scout uniforms for your own scouts. So now adding in an adult uniform as well, that can get pretty pricey. So add what you can as your budget allows. Meet with parents and decide meeting times for your den. And then last of all, start planning, playing games, and having fun. Thank you for your time, and I hope this presentation has been helpful. Have a great scouting year and do your best.